this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. Oh, I can run this town. Don't you know I got the key?
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account or Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Checks.
And welcome back, everybody. Here we're continuing forward here in ECL Season 51. I'm Exner. I'm joined here alongside Laz. We got a lot of exciting action here to cover today. It's South America, of course, and two very exciting teams going to be playing out, trying to vie for this opening, matchup here. Looking forward to covering some of the action here with you, Laz.
Yeah, man, me too. It's definitely, again, it wasn't too long ago you and I were back together, but it is good to be back together once again. And like you said, we're here for South America action. We're here for an interesting matchup, right, in the lower round, round number 2, which is going to be very interesting to say the least, just because we do have some decent teams that are going against each other, but a little bit of the, David and Goliath kind of situation, but we can get in that a little bit later. But nonetheless, it's good to be here, right back into ECL action, and, what a good way to have it today.
Yeah, definitely excited to see how these teams are going to be placed up against each other here. Set opening matchup here. It's opening for the day in South America, as we have played out a couple of these matchups already. Seen some pretty exciting starts so far for some of the squads. But we are in the lower bracket side of things here with this matchup. And Canids, a surprising place to find them in, but we'll take a look first things first about what these teams are playing for, and of course, not only is it an opportunity to enter into the South American finals, it's an opportunity to claim yourself 8,000, the lion's share of 17,500. You're looking to claim that first place prize. Again, winner moves forward into the South American finals. It's an opportunity to lock yourself in a pro league spot. So the pathway ahead of you here for South American teams, all these rosters, is going to be emboldened. It's going to be encouraged to do some good work here.
Yeah, no, definitely, right? Like you said, a good chunk of change, and we'll bring out the bracket a little bit here for you guys too, just to kind of get a little bit of landscape of what's been happening. And like Exner said, like it's already in the lowers, right? Like we're in the aspect that we're covering the lower brackets. It's not even the uppers. So I mean, a lot of decent matches that have come through. I don't know, for you, Exner, is there really anything that's been overly surprising? I think for me, I think everything looks like it's kind of going according to plan. I mean, I feel like, I kind of was, I definitely was kind of expecting a little bit about, Sharks to be a little bit more strong in some retrospect, but at the same point, it's so far, seems like to me, it's been going okay so far for the uppers.
I would say, for me, I would not want to be in this lower bracket. I'll just say that much here, because some of the teams, as expected, I would say for like the LPs of the world, the Procyons, the 4 Magics, maybe not all that surprising that they're in the lower bracket with how fierce the competition is. But then you look at some of the other squads here. Imperial in the lowers. You've got Sharks in the lowers. Red Canids in the lowers. Bounty Hunters. They're on a path to play against each other. And that, to me, is a scary sign, because all these are teams that could be vying and competing for that first place prize. But obviously, only one of them can make it through the lower bracket side of things, and that's where the shock is for me, at least.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I was thinking too, like for a team like Audic, they were like able to get themselves the 2-1 against like, Red Canids, which was kind of surprising, right? And that kind of leads into this discussion about this matchup, right? Is that we do have Red Canids, that are going to be playing FOLHA, right? So this is where I want to get your thought on this, because for me, like, I feel like the obvious pick in this for me, or the heavy favorites, is Red Canids. Like, I mean, they are a team that You know, they have a little bit of a roster adjustment. You know, they've just added Davideus back into this group, which I think is a very exciting move. I think that's actually, in my opinion, one of the best moves that we could have seen for a team like this. But, you know, they're still figuring out some stuff. Their results have been pretty decent from what I've been able to see thus far, just considering the amount of time that he's been under the roster. But I'm curious on your thoughts as well, Exner, just because, you know, we both have covered a lot of Red Canid games. This FOLHA team is definitely going to be a little bit different for both of us, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's good to see some of the recent matchups here because it actually shows the last head-to-head that was played out in CCT between these two teams. That's a 2-0, pretty convincing from Red Canids, and I couldn't agree more. Right, the roster changes, the bolstering of the firepower that David brings to any roster is going to be felt, and I think, you know, this is also a team where David can kind of be the star that we know he can be, right? Not a lot of resources having to be spent elsewhere. You know, Kawas is super sacrificial, can be very aggressive piece of the puzzle, but David, he's the guy that makes those explosive plays, that is able to find you opening duels. He's going to be doing the lion's share of that here for the squad, and to me, he has the experience at the higher levels to bring that into the mix, right? His time on Pain, I don't think was necessarily amazing. Spent about a year on that squad and ended up getting benched, but I'm glad to see him land on his feet with this team instead here. As again, they're challengers here. FOLHA Amarela, I mean, excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. The issue is, I just don't know if this team has the firepower to match the energy that Red Canids are bringing to the table right now. And we've seen that in the last two series that have played out. But, you know, players like Zareba, I think, have a lot of potential ahead of them. You know, he was once a Pain Academy member here, has been going throughout the Tier 2 scene in South America fairly consistently. And I think, you know, he has a big point to prove here heading into this matchup.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I definitely think that, you know, we both kind of be on the same sentiment of, like, look, the firepower for FOLHA is definitely going to be a little bit worse in some retrospect, but in the same token, like, they have been able to get some decent results against, you know, some teams. Like, they were able to beat Bounty Hunters, which I thought was a pretty interesting win. They had a close second map against Sharks in that upper bracket for the round one, which I thought, you know, again, was not a bad result. Sharks are, in my opinion, one of those teams that can be really exciting to watch, but also very inconsistent to watch. So nonetheless, this is where it gets really interesting. And then with the vetoes coming through as well, you know, from my perspective, like, I was a little bit surprised about Ancient, just because when you're kind of looking at it from like a stats perspective, it's not like both teams are overwhelmingly that good on it. Like, I mean, it's a pretty even record for both these teams. Like, I think it's 4-4 and 6-6 essentially. So it's pretty well matched in that way. But Ancient can be a little forgiving, but I'm a little bit surprised it went that way, considering Nuke is such a heavy favorite map for the other side for Red Canids. But, you know, I think a lot is going to be relying on Ancient to be kind of, you know, for FOLHA. If they want to make this a 3-map series, I do think that has to be the lean, right? Like, that is for them to push it. Like, Nuke is going to be a really, really tough road to go down. No
doubt. I think Ancient's got to be where the start comes through from them both times that Red Canids have played this FOLHA squad. It has been, you know, Nuke picks for the side of Red Canids, both times pretty convincing victories. Also, Ancient was picked out in their qualifier for IEM Rio, and it was a 13-6 victory for Red Canids. Don't see much of a path here for this squad to get it comfortably. And again, I think that comes down to, you look at the opening maps here, I think Drop has some really good protocols on Nuke to call things out. You look at Ancient, requires a lot of T-side success, you know, to have effective opening plays here. And I think that's kind of a consistency that we're seeing out of Red Canids, who have put a lot of work so far in this year. And it's going to be an interesting challenge here ahead. I wonder, you know, in this veto that we've seen before, what's going to buck the script in favor of FOLHA Amarela here and change the tides. And I think you're going to need to see some big individual efforts come through out of some of the key pieces here. And, you know, that would be, I think, definitely Zareba, who can bring in the energy, but probably going to need to see an extra bit of effort coming through from the Opera and Mellow.
Yeah, definitely agree. And I think for FOLHA too, it's, you know, their T side overall has not really been the greatest on this map. Like, just for a little bit of perspective for people, is that it's like a 38.5% win rate on it. So on this map, which is not the greatest. So, I mean, for them, if they can be able to get a decent, you know, first half, that can feel really good going into the second. So this is going to be very important for them being on the T side, which is their weaker side. There's going to be a lot relying on this, but again, a very slow round from both these teams, right? There's a lot of just cave control coming in very slowly. Cowas is just kind of posted up in the corner, playing along. He's waiting now. The rotates are coming through. It is going to be the plant that does go down here, Exner. So now they're going to try to actually push a little bit into this, and the Glocks actually do sing a little bit, but these USPs, they're climbing back into this game slowly and surely. It's still the man advantage here for FOLHA, and now they have to swing into this. The double player commit, beautifully done, and this could be a done pistol round potentially, unless we see something chaotic for a 1-on-2, but no, not going to be in the deck of cards.
Not happening here. Shut down before much more of a conversation going to be placed here. Clean conversion out of side of FA, being able to shut things down on the B bomb side, find the opening duels, especially with that lurk towards middle, cutting off any extra help. And it's going to be 1-0 to kick things off. We're going to get a force buy, though, out of right Canids. Going to try and get right back involved here as soon as possible, as we can see.
It's not a bad idea, actually. Just considering, like, we always talk about, the CT economy, and this second round can be, it's pretty much as important as a pistol, in my opinion. So, if they can just force up and try to see if they can find the second round conversion, I think that's huge, just because you can play some a little bit of a money game. But now we're starting to see that FA have been able to actually just clean this up very convincingly. All the CTs just drop, and actually it's a flawless round here for the T side, but some damage inflicted, sure, but nonetheless, it kind of felt like it was a little bit of a wash in terms of the force buy.
I feel like some details kind of being missing right there. I love the coordinated aggression down ramp and through cave, but one flashbang could have really changed the tides in that round.
Yeah, 100%.
It felt like it was going to come through with the presence in middle. If you set up drop with a flashbang to push that smoke, you're looking at an opening pick. You're looking at the aim being separated there out of this T side where they just can't focus in on one point after another. But a decisive duel being taken. And a big victory without any casualties. This is exactly how you want to convert a second round and get off to a 3-0.
Oof. That's chunky. Poor drop. It's already in the red. Should be dead. There we go. Very nice from CKZ. Should be an easy gimme round, and I definitely agree with you, Exner. Like I definitely feel like in the last round we saw, like if even one or two pieces of utility really could have changed that round for what they were looking to accomplish for, and that's what I was kind of saying in the the beginning of this show, is that this isn't like the best map for both these teams, and that's where I think it's a little bit rocky, but that's where I think it'll be interesting to see where the mistakes can really open up a lot of opportunity for the other team, right? So now we're in the full gun round. We got the M4s across the board here for the CT side, and they're going to keep the MAC-10 alive as well, but yeah, this is important. Like, do we put the MAC-10 like aggressively into cave? Do they want to put a little bit of acceleration on this, or do they want to kind of play that defaulty setup? Mid's going to be a little bit controlled in the sense of David's going to try to just play it by himself here with Jay. Cave control going to be grabbed up. Nicely done, too. So, yeah, they don't get any kills or anything, but they're grabbing some real estate pretty fast. And a nice shot onto David, and he's already down early at a 133.
I get a guy that goes for a lot of opening duels here for the CT side of Red Canids, already being taken care of. The opening stage. And it's FA that started to fall back here. Zerolazine spots out some mid-re-aggro. I think does a good job of not overextending, overstaying his welcome. Who's going to be the one to make a move on this T side? It's a little bit slow rolling here at the moment. HE doesn't do as much damage as I thought on the drop. Now they're splitting things up here as CK's out takes contact on B. The A site gets completely cracked open. Zerolazine able to find the opener. It's CK's out with the follow-up. Another round that might not future a single kill. Red Canids. A bit of a flat start until drop. Able to introduce himself into the server here, and still a non-starter in the retake.
Yeah, I really like what we saw, right, from FA, is the fact that they just kind of played like very aggressive in the cave. They get that, you know, control the site or control the map, and then they really just kind of post up a little bit, getting that early duel. And David, you know, through Dona was huge. Like he was just, again, kind of jiggling for info. He was just trying to get some information, but gets caught in the crosshair. But I like that they kind of slowed things down right away. They weren't just so over antsy. They weren't just aggressive. You know, they like got some real estate, held their ground, and then they were kind of just playing some mind games. You could see Red Canids, like they were scratching their heads a little bit about, okay, what's actually happening here? And Drop does get himself that one, you know, little consolation prize of a kill, but it pretty much could have been a flawless round theoretically here for FA. And now we're talking about a 4-0. Like I was just saying how, you know, statistically their T side isn't very good, and it hasn't been, you know, the most impressive so far from what we've seen, but it's looking pretty decent right now. And this is where Red Canids, you know, I think if this round, you know, could fall through, I wouldn't be against them calling a timeout potentially, just because we'll be talking to 5-0, and then, you know, you don't want to lose control of that first half this quickly, right?
I need to take a quick breather here. Kills not coming through for Red Canids squad, and they're not used to struggling up against this roster. Being figured out. Here's finally an opening duel out of history. It's short-lived. Traded out quickly by Cyril. Che goes and sleeks in towards the back of default. No space really created here out of FA. Just the one-for-one trade taken early. Now they start to take ground elsewhere, do their due diligence on the clear. Cyril's going to back away. I wonder if that's going to be an AK scoopable here for the CT side. Well, that certainly is. This Drop takes a quick frag. We'll grab an AK for his troubles. And slow down this attack here. CK's out. Oh, he's on the B bomb site, though. And there's no resistance. Drop.
Oh, my.
Lets one slip by his crosshair. And now the frustration could be at the hands of Kawez, who realizes a little late, but still connects some big damage. Nearly drops another kill right there. There's a cave load coming through as well.
I just can't believe like the amount like of potential here for Red Canids. I was thinking like these pistols and the 5.7s have really been able to inflict some serious damage, but you have 2 HP remaining here for CKZ, and then you're like a pretty decent chunk at a Cyril's in as well. So this is a doable situation here for Red Canids. They have to get moving pretty quickly. That's not going to help at all. But nice little crunch. But you know what? Honestly, like not a bad round. Like it was, I was thinking CKZ was definitely putting himself in a strong position in that long to the trigger discipline. He just kind of walks past Cave and just gets himself in this fight right here. But I was thinking, man, that was a little close for comfort. That was looking a little tight. Not looking good, but nonetheless, it still pans them out around.
A little dicey. Control being captured here for them. Uh-oh. Quick play out towards the middle. Does get slowed down. David able to do a good job of forcing them back. No opening picks given over just yet, though.
Yeah, this is good work from the CT side. Like, so now this is what we were talking about before, right? Is that FA were doing a good job about getting this cave control and kind of pushing onto like the catwalk essentially, and just getting a lot of real estate. Whereas right now, Red Canids finally give us a little bit more life into this, and they go for the mid control. They lock down cave right away. They just make sure nobody can just grab it. So at least for them, they're putting some decent map presence onto this and really pushing the T's back, like you just said. And you can see FA have actually grouped up. You still have a player in T-spawn just kind of waiting here to pop some utility. The smoke onto elbow is definitely going to be problematic. And you have a double player into mid. You also have David that's kind of posted up very closely, and then you have Che that's kind of just playing onto the B ramp and slowly pushing through. So they have a nice little bit of a crossfire into B door, which could potentially, you know, cut off CKZ. But now the swing, David has to come alive, and that's a good first kill with the assist here of Che to help him out for that second. That's a perfect pickup here, Cole.
This is what they needed to get back on track here. Nice dominant round. The next breath. Che on a jump spot here, about 25 seconds left, and so much ground to fight through. It's going to be a save call out of F8. Going to back up and find safety. So we're going to hold on to this op here, and Cyril Zine, even though they've got plenty of money to go around here, don't want to hand over donations to this CT side, especially one that doesn't include an AWP just yet. And a much more coordinated approach towards middle. Able to strike with the HE and David getting aggressive as opposed to some of the isolated duels they've been taking early. Canids going to get on the board.
Yeah, and I was even just, you know, going back into the little bit of the history books here too, and when these guys actually played each other, you know, for the IM Rio Open qualifier, like it was an 11-1 first half for Red Canids on the CT side. So we're already seeing FA having a vast amount of improvement already, right? Like considering the last time they played each other, it was a pretty dominant reckoning here on the CT side, and like you said, they're finally doing something a little bit more to get things back into motion, and Che does find himself that kill. Drop is actually able to find an additional, so a little bit of a cheeky one, and now they can just kind of regroup. The double player into mid. A is pretty much abandoned. You just have Che that's kind of just playing on the outskirts of CT spawn, just waiting things out. Now FA are getting a little bit uncomfortable. Now they're getting pushed against in this map. Another duel goes in favor for Red Canids, so now putting themselves on a 5-on-2 advantage. And now Melo's trying to see what he can find. We're activation with the AWP, but his spot's been already given away. His teammate does find the first duel, but now all of a sudden, it's down to the 1-on-4. An AWP in hand, and requiring to find so many kills. But he's already got players ahead of him. He's got a player on the big flank. You have someone in cave. This is becoming a Red Canids sandwich. He's going to have to hit the shots of a lifetime here. Does find that first, but does he expect more to just swing into this? He's waiting patiently. Go for the fake planet with still 40 seconds remaining, and there we go. David will put the nail to the coffin. A second round grabbed here for Red Canids in a row, and not bad at all.
Not bad at all indeed there. Clean conversion, 5v2. Only a couple parting gifts from Melo offered up. Timeout called from the T side, knowing things not spiraling just yet, but they'd like to avoid that reality.
I don't mind it. Personally, like, I mean, I think that there can always be the great debate about timeouts, right? And everybody has their own philosophy on it. But I feel like when you had essentially a massive lead, we were talking like a what, 5-0 at one point, 2 rounds in a row, it's just a good time to be like, you know what, look, let's just clean it up. Let's slow things down. Just get that communication back into, you know, a bit more of a T. So this is a big important round. I mean, this is a full gun round. We have ops now from both sides. A lot is invested here for round number 8. So not a bad time for them just to really be, you know, very clear of what they want to accomplish here. Good nade on the Shea though.
Yeah, I like the timeout calls before they get into a position where they know things are out of control rather than after. Sometimes it can be a little too late and the comeback can already be fully in picture. See if that is the case here. David caught by 1,000 flashes is still going to line up multiple. Straight transfer for David. Looking clean for a 4K. Reload able to go through. And another one onto Zareva. Locked down by one player. David just about ready to heat up. Will be cooled off by the op there. Melo going to slow his roll. But the bomb's on the other edge of that smoke. That's going to lead to no good options here for Melo. Probably a save in picture here.
Hot damn, man. That's that's exactly what you and I were talking about, right? We're like, look, like, you know, David was on pain for that year. Like, it was very up and down. You know, we knew he was a strong player, but like that round right there, that's a good little bit of a glimpse of just what he's able to bring to the table. And you've loved to see it, right? I was kind of hoping for a little bit of a redemption arc from him. So really just buys them a third round in a row now going to be grabbed up here for Red Canids, which is huge. And it was looking pretty bad, right? I mean, the utility was decent. The flashes looked like it fully caught him. Like he was just kind of sitting, you know, behind the box, like pretty exposed. Everybody else seemed to be blind too, but nonetheless reacts, you know, very perfectly to the situation and pulls up a massive 4K. It's going to be a decent save though for FA just to keep that up in the rotation. The money's not the greatest, but at least they can work around it to see what they can do, you know, as much as they can on an Ancient T side.
Yeah, the David story, interesting in particular here, because I think, you know, he's, and some of the teams in the past entered into, you know, on top potential that ended up not working out in those projects. I think of his time you know, on Payne last year, where don't think we really saw his peaks, but he also didn't get his roles.
Exactly.
And I think, you know, that was kind of a tough go of things. But then the same was true when he was previously playing on Red Canids, until we did see some swap ups. When I think this is a lot more fitting to his judgment here, much more akin to what he was able to do on 9Z when he was playing at his peak with this roster, or with that roster here. Now with this roster, I think he's going to have that availability. But CK Zhao has the availability for an opening, and David gets caught with his back turned, trying to rotate in and to provide more space, a little bit of support for a defense that was falling on B. Now the CT side forced into transition, rotating over towards middle, but not on the money on these rotates. Kawa is just forced into a passive stance as the rest of the team looks to claim control. Che more committed in towards A as the play continues to head towards Kawes.
Yeah, really tough position for Kawes too. Like, and I know this has been more of a rough game for him so far, like sitting at the 1 and 6, and now he's just kind of being the sole pillar here to be the defense. His teammates are finally joining him, but it's a slow rotate here from Che. This is a tough one though, right? Because you got the 3-on-4. They're going to have to find a duel early. That is definitely going to help. So Cyril's in actually overextending the welcome, but Mello right back into it. Gets his op with a full connection. And utility is now being dispensed here from the CT side. So this is all about the firefight. And Mello just finds himself a secondary kill. And this is where Che might just say, you know what? I'm good, bruh. I'm leaving. I'm going to grab the op. I'm out of here. Well, that ain't even going to happen as well, because Fasten right there, quick with it. And now we get to see FA finally getting themselves around back after 3 that have been against them.
Much more measured approach right there. I would say measured, maybe not so much the right word there. CK's out. The organized chaos for the rest of the team to slow things down and take that measured approach there. As they trade things out 1 for 1, you can see the sort of reaction that comes through from Red Canids all over the place, right? They're pushing through middle. They're rotating the players towards A, and that just allows for more of a read on the defense out of this T side. And they start to paint the picture effectively. We'll be able to seal things up.
Yeah, I just love the fact that we got to see Mello again, just, you know, putting in some decent work in that last round. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was a triple kill for him with the op, right? So it was good work. We get to see the ops find a little bit of connections when they need to. And now for Red Canids, a telling round here for round number 10. Just they again need to be able to find themselves some kind of control back into this. FA have been able to beat a little bit of their historical matchup against each other, the head-to-head on this map specifically. Now they're doing a lot better than what they've done before. Now it's just maintaining this lead as much as possible. And you can see it's actually just a slow creep onto the B ramp right now, because you only have 1 player, which is going to be Kawes. He's just, again, posted up on long. He's not really committed to this. Che is kind of playing on the catwalk, but he's blocked by the smoke. So right now for FA, it's an opportunity that they could already be across. They could try to go for the pop, but Che does actually sneak that kill just on the edge of the wall and will win that opening duel. And now Kawes has been spotted. He's lit. He should be a dead man walking, and indeed he is. And now the T's, they're just going to bombard this site. Flash is getting thrown, drop, trying to be aggressive with it as well. But, oh, CKC, no! The timing is just so unfortunate. And now the CTs, they're starting to make a little bit of a comeback here. They put themselves in the 3-on-2 situation. And the AK's alive. Critical HP for one of them. But the CTs have a double player into cave. You have 1 player that's just on short. They might be able to play the numbers game. The molly going to get thrown a bit early. It's a frantic spray though, Cole. This is not looking good right now. The CTs are taking a lot of patience onto this. A mis-thrown flash here from the CT side. And that's going to be the first kill. Can Drop be able to find the second? No, but at least David should be able to find this defuse in time. And they edge out a 4th round.
Yeah, huge closer right there coming through. David able to dice up the duels and finish off the job when it comes down to it. Some big missed opportunities Fazine coming down close to the wire with that opening pick, but missing out on that chance, and just enough leverage there to trade things out in that post plant. Red Canids, a scary round, but a huge sigh of relief as they close it out. And now it's a scrappy buy here. You can see that FA, they want to keep up the intensity here. Out towards the middle. Oh, they're eating a barrage of utility. Down to 12 HP, and it's a multi-kill from David again. Spray transfers just rolling off the docket.
Yeah, finally starting to see David get back into fighting form, right? This is where before he was just getting annihilated every single time. He wasn't really able to find his timings right. He was just getting picked apart. Now he's the one that's been able to find this double kill once again. Yeah, it's cost him a lot of HP, but it's put him in a prime position here. It's a 5-on-3 for the advantage of the CTs. Two of them are low, a combination of 30 HP for two of them. History just peaks out just a little bit too much. Hitting the squats, his legs showing, and now Fasten's been able to find the double kill, and all of a sudden FA have been able to turn this around completely and put themselves on a 7th with a blink of an eye.
Keeping that scrappy purchase up here. Going to pay off despite the double opener here. Taking some serious damage early on at Fazine. Able to press the issue all the way through in towards middle. And that is a bit of a frustrating one. Red Canids calling another timeout here.
Yeah.
And they know the importance of this match. Have been able to topple the competition a couple of times. But in this lower bracket with eliminations on the line here, like it could amplify the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it is the best. Yeah, it is the best of three. But like, you know, we mentioned this for anybody just tuning in now. I mean, this is the lower bracket game, right? So loser of this matchup in the best of three is out. So it's just, you're still fighting for your life. And, you know, this is not really the same Red Canids that we've seen on the CT side typically, but this is a tough moment, right? Like you said, the timeout being called from them, it's because their money situation, it's really, you know, the bottom of the dumpster. It's like they're kind of scraping the barrel with double MP9s, pistols, and they're just trying to keep that utility afloat. So just making sure the T's can't just, like, you know, run rampant here on the map control. But we'll see if they can do something big with it. They've been able to almost, you know, find a round in a situation like this before and actually drop. He's actually pushed quite aggressively onto this, so this is looking like a little bit of a CT crunch, and oh my goodness. Okay, no kill is going to be found here, and still 5 alive here for FA. And they're still spread out here. The bomb's actually making the transition over towards that A site, which is just leaving History by himself, needing to, you know, find a moment here if he can, but it looks like even for FA, they're going to pull back on this, and they're going to regroup.
I try and shuffle up here, and I think this is where we've seen FOLHA at their best. When they have these man advantages and draw back a little bit, wait for the reaction, and get the adjustments necessary. Fazine trying to find some follow-up damage here. We'll connect on the History. Might encourage them, especially with that kill, to make a move in towards A. AK scooped up for Cowes, but HE'd blow open that smoke right there. You can see Mello just taking the risk necessary to win this round, going towards that A side, not hesitating, not allowing for the rotates of Red Canids to get back on track. And it's all on the shoulders of Cowes with an AK and Shea without one, just a P250, and no kits available for this retake.
Yeah, this is bad. This is not a good situation to be in at all. I mean, you got one Molotov that might, you know, put the repositioning off a little bit here for FA, but again, they're in such a prime position here to find this 8th round. This is all about Cowes if he can put some kind of connection here with the AK. He's been able to get across. Finds that first, spots the player into donut, but now that's just a cleanup. An 8-4 half. And not bad at all. CKZ sending himself at a 15-7, Cole.
Yeah, I highlighted a couple of pieces that I was wondering if they're going to...
my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speakerphone. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows. 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 Going till my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speakerphone. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows. I'll keep going till my speakerphone blows.
Some action working out in favor of FOLHA, opening things up nicely. The dual Beretta's rattling off as well.
Whoa.
Mello will back himself here and swing in towards the ramp side, and this one is over in a flash. Mello with a 3K completes the task here, and it's both pistols converted now on
Yeah.
the CT side.
That was quick, right? I mean, fast and furious, apparently. But yeah, this is very impressive. Like, we talked a little bit about FA, like picking this map. Again, I was kind of giving a lot of criticism, like, yeah, like, okay, like maybe not. But it really does seem like they've been able to get some band-aids out and really fix a lot of their, adjustments they needed to. They've been able, like you said, to find the double pistols. So things are really looking good for them right now. Like, even some of the rounds they lost, those are still very, very close encounters. So yeah, this is very impressive to see what FA has been able to serve up here on the table here for map number 1. But for Red Canids, it's kind of a lot of a big question about, are they going a little bit starting slow? Like, maybe they just really aren't that comfortable into this map yet. But, the scoreline is still doable, right? There's still an opportunity where Red Canids can definitely bring this back. But it's definitely making me question a little bit about, what we're seeing right now, Cole. I don't feel like we're getting that full picture of what they typically can bring to the server.
No, definitely. I'm kind of surprised here to see the struggles come through here. Tough times operating here. As you said, it's a slow start for sure, but I also think there's something to the fact here that it can be a big challenge to beat a team over and over again. And I think there is FOLHA who have done a lot of soul searching on how they need to play out those late rounds. And they found some answers, it appears, as they've been able to offer up a dominant scoreline. Last time there was a big force buy, netted them 0 kills. This time around, they're going to try and get the guns back out, but already Cowis is hot on their heels. There's a big entry followed up by another from drop. This is their chance to try and right the ship. HE blows open the smoke, but no visuals granted here in Mello. Forced to retreat. Bomb yet to go down, but finally does as Zareba turns the corner. And a 4v3 ahead of them. Smoke's recycled in towards CT. It's going to slow down the approach. Caught boosting up, but the MP7 not doing the job just yet. Zareba trying to find his spray.
They got to save.
Can't track it. Are they going to call it here with low HP bars? They're not going to make an effort here further, even though they're so close in this round. They don't know it. And they're going to back away.
Honestly, I think a lot was on Zareba to be able to find that kill with the MP7, right? Like, you could see the struggle out of Temple where he wasn't able to find the spray control, couldn't find that one duel for the player on the tree, and if they would have been able to find, you know, a kill there, that honestly could have really created the opportunity where we would have saw FA actually committing to that retake. But as soon as you saw him whiffing and he took a lot of damage, it was like, you know what? We just got to save these guns. We just got to let this go, right? Because that's where it gets really tough on that CT side for the economy. But it's a tough decision to make, but at least they get it done. But Red Canids, you know, a little bit of a, you know, dry pop into the A site, grabbing these first initial duels, and pretty much to his full steam ahead. So very impressive, and you know, pulls a little bit of a lifeline for them and gets it, you know, the guns right back into the board right away. This is going to be a big test, and now you can see that's actually Che trying to push up through in the middle. Can't seem to find the SMG kill or really inflict any damage, but nonetheless, they've been able to get themselves cat control. They've been able to get themselves into cave, so they've been able to put some decent pressure points against the CT side. You have a triple player setup onto B, and you can see, if I'm not mistaken, that's CKZ that's actually kind of pushing out right now, just looking for the info. And they're trying to be active, Cole, and that bomb is just on the other side of that smoke. So a lot of, a little bit of, you know, mind control or map control with a little bit of mind games into this round so far. Okay, that's that's gonna be sick. That's pretty nuts.
Mind controlled Che to find that multi right there. Fully blinded up. Just holds mouse 1 there. And we'll dispatch of 2. A little lurk, or flank I should say, towards middle. Makes things interesting. It's a lifeline here that they're hoping to grasp onto. Facine spots out the reposition and a follow-up kill. Now they know, though, that the race is on, and out sticking around is history. Maybe for a little too long. Traded out into now a 2v2. Donut control still could be maintained as a molly slows down the approach, and drop will seal up that space for now. Meanwhile, Cyril Zine trying to find strides through, footsteps being rattled off. He's going to run through CT right now. All the while, David has kind of evacuated drop all on his own. Getting crunched in on from 2 directions. It is a 10-second stick ahead of them, and David continues to walk things out. How long can he continue to play patient? It's being stuck right now. 10-second defuse ahead of them. CK Zhao drops, and there's just simply no time to get off the bomb. Cyril Zine, his fate was inevitable as David delivers another victory.
Oh, man, you got to be, you know, counting your lucky stars a little bit, right? Because, I mean, if there would have been a defuse kit in that situation, that would have been over. Like, I mean, that was a full commit defuse without, you know, the 10-second commit. I like the idea of what David was doing, but that's the problem in these kind of situations is when you're going for a big flank like that, or you're trying to make a bit of a readjustment in your positioning, your teammate has to stay alive. So drop going down quickly like that really put him in a bad spot, and it made him not look the greatest, but thankfully he could be able to find that rebound. Now we're going to see Red Canids. They're just going to send this thing into the B site. They're not going to mess around. The Deagle's trying to get a kill. It's inflicting a little bit of damage against them, but right now Red Canids, they're just trying to take over this B site, being mindful of the pistols. But the MAC-10 is just running rampant, and now this is a quick and dusted round here for Ancient. Red Canids, they make it swift and easy.
That distance is going to close here ever so slightly. Chipping away at this lead manufactured by FOLHA. Just 2 rounds now to close that distance. With David heating up here, having some of your crucial individuals rising to the occasion. Can they continue to find that consistency here up against the rifles that are finally coming out? All the tools you have available, barring, I guess, a mellow AWP into the mix and a Cyril Zine rifle. He goes for the utility instead.
Yeah, I don't even mind that too. Like, I mean, it's again, like the SMGs, like MP9s, MP7s, you know, they're obviously, they bring a lot of a good packing punch into this, and having that utility on the CT side, it's so important, right? You just want to slow down as much of that aggression as you can. Apparently he's not even going to be able to use a lot of his utility because he's just going to get burned alive here. And no, I don't know how Che survives that with the mid jump in the fight, but he does. And now FA, it really seems like, you know, the motor is starting to cool down a little bit. These guys have not been able to find any of the kills going their way. I talked about the comfortability. It is starting to be very uncomfortable for them. The CT side is definitely a whole different picture from what we've been able to see. And Red Canids are going to have a free A site. They're going to get this plant down. I can't imagine we're going to see FA try to commit to this. They're going to probably preserve the guns and just, you know, the little bit of utility they have remaining. If I'm not mistaken, too. Yeah, they don't even have a kit anyway, so they're just going to hold true to this one. And Cole, we're talking about a one-round differential. This has been a really great sweep from Red Canids, considering that pistol was in favor for FA, and they've been able to bounce back ever since.
Yeah, just a hiccup on the pistol round. Since then, but nothing but class here coming through out of this T side. Hunt is on, and it's interesting. Player tucked into the cubby. CK Zhao might be able to walk away with his life just by going unchecked, uncleared. Even an extra kill here for his troubles. It's a while until this round ends, and finally it will. With CK Zhao going down, I think a worthy sacrifice of 2 players to rip that gun out of the hands and leave only the sole rifle. Especially in CK Zhao, who has been playing a pretty solid game, but I guess the util too good for Red Canids. I would have to imagine, because, as you said, a bit of a mechanical error there with the scroll wheel. Should have cost them, but the flashes kind of bail them out.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Cole, because we talk a lot about, you know, Red Canids and their experience and, you know, the competition they played, et cetera, but a map like this is when you're on that T side, that utility is going to be utmost of importance, right? To get yourself some map control and kind of getting, you know, a little bit of presence into this. And like you said, I feel like it's been definitely a lot more efficient than what we saw in the first half. But we'll see what they got a little bit more in store for us. They only have the 1 rifle here for Zareba, and double into mid, double on towards B, just leaving the full push from Fasten, just kind of post it up into the corner of A main. This is kind of a crucial position because, again, if he goes down it's a free A site essentially. There's donut players to go for the rotate, but now he has numbers against him. Cool. David's going to be able to swing and just easily take him out. So they should have this control for their choosing.
Sorry, but the only player close by on the defense. He does have the rifle, fortunately for him. But the smokes land and the flashes do as well. Angle on that spam, just keeping him away from plucking players out. Meanwhile, Kawa is going to go down, drop a gun. This might be a save angle here, and Red Canids in the conversation to now tie things up, despite not getting off to the best start, one that they would hope to get away with. They haven't had too many troubles in getting their head back in this game.
Yeah, it's really just been the pistol round like we talked about, and then Red Canids have essentially just brought themselves right back into fighting form for this and have not lost a round since. So it's been very, very impressive to say the least. It's been looking a lot more, you know, a well-oiled machine for this T side. Like, a lot of the rounds are winning as well. Like, they're keeping decent numbers as well. Like, I think we've seen, you know, a couple like odd, like, you know, 2v2s or 1v1s, but, you know, keeping 4 alive here is just putting the cash flowing nicely. Like, chasing at like just over 10K right now, which is kind of insane, but it's looking good right now. It's sitting pretty. And now for FA, they got the guns right back into this. The AWP is going to be in the hands of Mello. This is where I kind of want to see, for me, I'd love to see Mello get a little bit more in a playmaker state, right? Like, I'd like to see him try to find something with that AWP, maybe try to get like a little bit of an aggression into this, or something different from the CT side to catch, you know, Red Canids off guard, because so far their game plan, it's just working flawlessly.
Had everything they've asked for here so far, barring the pistol. Not really going their way. Outside of that, inconsistency on the openers, and it's going to remain true. Che deletes, and Drop will follow it up. A site slowly falling, and then Molly has extra diligence to get past the op. It's a nice job for Mello. You asked him to be a playmaker. He's trying to stand in the flames and provide his team some access, but unfortunately for him, the smoke won't open, and Mello continuing to create strides in this round here. Sets up for CK Zhao, who backs up the play. And a chance now in this post here. As Mello posts up on the back of Donut. Both players going to join up here. It's a crossfire. A deadly one at that here, and maybe overlooked is the rifle here. Bomb tap. Flashbang not connecting on the opera just yet. I don't know if they've tapped the bomb because there's absolutely no motion out of the aggression here. Kawa is left alone. Got to get on top of it here. Kawa's going to miss out on the duel to follow it up. Time for the defuse, going to come down close, but they have enough. And a 5v3 ahead of them. But Mello steps up to the plate in a big way. Threads in a couple op duels, sets CK Zhao up for success as well. And they close it out. There's that playmaking.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of trying to remember here too, because CT was smoked off. Oh, and it wasn't HE from the T side. I was wondering, I was thinking it got popped open, right? I was thinking, okay, that was really nice. But I was thinking, was that from the CT side or was that from T side? But I mean, that might be a little bit of the misplay of Red Canids actually threw that HE into CT because it allowed just enough of a gap where Mello was able to find that op kill despite taking a ton of damage already. So that kind of created the opening, right? So a little bit of a misplay from Red Canids, and just that much of a small detail, really pried open this round to getting themselves back into still a winning way. And they're edging this out by 1 round. And already you can see Che is actually pushed all the way through red, so he might be able to find a timing onto this. Unless Mello expects something. Molly should be able to at least push this CT back. Now he's just being able to fly away, but CK Zhao, like you said, he's now starting to put up some decent numbers as well, but drop. The IGL has a little bit more to respond onto this. Bomb's going to go down. So Reba trying to see what he can do with the HE. Now to a 3-3, Cole, and this bomb still has to get planted. Lots of time remaining, though.
Oh, lots of time here to try and remain patient here. Drop gets tucked in for the plant here. Avoids spam as well. The molly ticks once. He's walking on the knife's edge and being able to survive here. Mello, though, will eventually drop him. This lurk coming through, he's so aware of. Mello holding the flank while Che walks up. But how long can you keep posted up on this angle? Long enough to find success. And smoke on top of that bomb. Another connection out of the op of Mello. Sets up Zareba, who will seal in the job. A couple of key clutches coming through in the heat of the moment. Mello providing.
Yeah, providing absolutely tenfold right now, right? I mean, he has been able to just find so many good shots here with the op. I talked about being a playmaker. He is doing it. He's been able to find a couple different rounds where now he's making a ton of impact. He's just creating the space. Look at the read on that, right? He knew Shea was going for a flank. Even right there, History actually got caught in the leg with the op shot as well. So Mello is really just having a field day right now, putting a lot of work with the op, which you'd love to see. 2 rounds are going to be grabbed up. Red Canids now looking like they want to call the timeout. Again, recollecting the thoughts. Everything was looking so good for them after the pistol, right? Like, they put so many rounds in a row. It became a competitive half. Now we're starting to see FA finally getting the motor running a little bit better. They're starting to get a little bit more playmaking into this. Everybody's starting to find that second, third, fourth wind, whatever. But now they just need a little bit more to get over the edge of this map.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough ask for this T side because I think they're doing a lot right in the opening phases, finding these kills. But I gotta give it to Father. They're coming in with a whole new energy, striking forward with consistent damage, showing up with the clutches. Brought to you by Zareba with Mello. All these players, when a hero is required, able to answer that call. Now you do start to wonder here if that early lead that Fuller got off to is too much to recover from for Red Canids, or if they can shut down these clutches. Cave Smoke no longer in the picture here. Instead, it's going to be a slow crawl up the shelf side. Op is ready, and Mello dropped early. That's a key player to take down out of the gates here. And a huge relief knowing you don't have to go up against that Opper any longer.
Whoa!
And an instant dismissal of Fascine. And this one going to be convincing enough to deny any conversation of heroics. They're not even going to chance this retake.
Yeah, not at all, right? And there's not even the opportunity to go pick up the op either. Like, I mean, again, that's gone. Like, you could see Red Canids are kind of posted up on this, waiting in deep donut in mid, making sure there's no conversation, like you said. There's actually already, David's actually kind of pushing through into the well here, or to the pathway. He might be able to find a kill, no, but CK Zhao actually does get it. A little bit of a hunting attempt here from Red Canids. I mean, they can go for this. I mean, the money's a little bit tight. I don't know if I absolutely love this, but I mean, it really would be detrimental against the CTs if they could. But like you said, what a wild round to see, just considering they find 2 quick kills and that's it. That's the round already done and dusted. So a 1-round differential, we go back into it. Money still in the, you know, in the saving part here for the CTs, that they can get the rifles back into this, so there's no sweat about that. So we're right back into a full fight. What a close shot too for the op, actually. It looked like it just missed as well. Yeah, that was not that far off. A little unfortunate. All right, timeouts.
Statements.
Yeah, timeout's done too, right? I mean, again, just like a little bit more of a conversation, which is not a bad thing, but this is really tight, Cole. I don't think I was expecting this close of a scoreline, I'm going to be honest.
No, that's valid. I wasn't either here. You know, history tells us that hasn't been the case here. Wasn't thinking it was going to be the case now. So far, I mean, I guess so good. FOLHA still feeling the heat, though, the pressure intensifying. Can't afford to let another one slip here. We'll see if they try and go proactive. Take an aggressive stance here. You can see that out of Zareba at a peek down towards middle. Gives it a go. Trying to take a second opportunity here. HE on the ramp. Lands in between them. And in the meantime here, this default, I think a little bit of a fear factor in the way that Red Canids are turning the corner and swinging these duels. I can understand the pressure, the fear that they're facing, but sometimes these passive defense can lead to deadly executions. I'm hoping to avoid that.
And this is going to be a full pop right into the B side too. And this is actually where you got the 3 CTs that are grouped up. This is going to be a pretty decent fight here. And now this is going to be a lot of reliance here for the CT side. Actually, a reposition from Mello has actually cost him his life. And now CK Zhao is trying to see what he'd be able to find as well to dig up something in the cave. And he's critical HP. But he's still putting up a lot of resistance on this. Now his teammates are swinging. But how does he find one more kill? And he does. Drop's able to get him away, but now we see that Fasten was trying to do something a little bit quick onto long, but it's just too slow, and History finds himself the op with a double kill now, bringing this game finally into a tie situation of 11-11, and the money, it's not that bad here for the CT side. It's not the greatest, Cole, but they could try to force this up, or they could try to go light and really just put it all into round number 24.
Looks like they're going to try and meet in the middle ground here with this investment. Right in between here. Multiple A1S is brought into the mix. 5-7's not fully committing, but getting themselves guns to at least threaten the victory. In the meantime, Zareba. Oh my god.
Whoa.
A lot of damage there done on the drop. Putting him on notice. Scaling the way through the red room. I like the approach that Red Canids are taking here. Keeping their distance, having the availability to make a move through red room. I wonder if they're here on the rotates. Mello hits the shift key just in time. And then we'll post up with some help as well. Zareba alongside him is in rotation here. Loud and proud about his rotate.
Yeah, Zareba trying to make a lot of noise so that Mello can actually just be posted up. Like, that's why you see Mello kind of sitting like that, right? He was expecting there to be maybe a swing after that noise cue. Drop. Good little bit of an entry. This is awkward now for the CT side too. Now the red room flank is coming through. You got triple player into A. Once again, Red Canids are going into a stack site, theoretically a stack site. And now you can see the CTs are getting a little bit caught off guard. Now they're going to be double behind the site. David can't seem to get the spray onto the 2, but it doesn't matter. Che just saves the day with a double. Map point now in the hands of Red Canids. And let's not forget, this was FA's pick.
And they had such a foundation here to work off of, not only the success in the first half, but the pistol in the second. Feels like an open and shut case until it wasn't, until we saw the entry prowess come through from everyone on Red Canids warming up into this series. And they have a chance to claim map point first. A close game, closer than FOLHA have been able to provide in the last 2 series, that's for sure, but one that still could slip out of their grasp just at the final hurdle. Don't want to get plucked out early. Cyril Zine taking some spam damage, but also Kawa is doing the same. No opening picks just yet. Ichi goes down here, and Zareba going to be mollied out of position here. Forced to fight forward. Inside the cave. Survives. Lives to tell the tale, but won't live long, as it's just instant headshots everywhere you go out of these players on the T side.
Oh, they vacated A too, right? I mean, you can see the CT side has put so much of a lean onto this B side. But the bomb is towards there, but now they have lots of time to get out of this.
Yeah, it's very gambly, but I don't know if it's going to pay off in this case here. Rotation's heading through middle. Bomb's going to join up with the pack. This duo marauding out towards A is going to be met with no resistance. Still so much utility left here for this CT side, or T side rather, as well. Mello going to get involved. There's the smoke towards Temple, or Donut rather. They're going to find some safety here to plant the bomb. Molly to try and delay here ever so slightly. Drop going to find an angle nonetheless. Numbers punched in. Here starts the timer against them. And you're noticing no kits for this CT side to operate with. This is live or die now for the side of FOLHA.
Oh, David, what a prime position to be in, though. Molly's not going to bother him, but look at that spray down, able to find the 2. So now the CTs are just dropping like flies, and now it's just CK Zhao just needing to come alive, needs to do something big and miraculous, but now the numbers are just too strong against them, and Red Canids will be able to get themselves back into this map win, and they find a 13-11.
I mean, it's nearly a 30 bomb from CK Zhao required to get to 11 rounds. We did see individuals step up to try and match the energy that Red Canids possess, but everyone on Red Canids firing on all cylinders, and that T side takeover. And that's the difference here. That puts them across the finish line. Red Canids closing out their opponent's map pick, and it's 5 map victories in a row up against this FOLHA squad to start off 2026. And they continue that conversation even despite losing both pistols, despite being down in the early deficit. We see Red Canids hold their own and finish off the job. Just enough energy left in the tank here to close it out.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about, right? Because like you said, like the one impressive thing for FA is finding the pistols, and then we saw the whole second half is where it was just pretty much a sweep. It felt like it was pretty much 5 rounds in a row. But look, we could talk about this all day. First map's going to be done. We're going to take a little bit of a break as we get ready for Nuke, which will be the pick of Red Canids, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. just like a takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and Rolex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on the better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
Everybody, we're here for ESL Challenger League Season 51 for South America Cup number 1. And we just finished map number 1 here in the best of 3 series in the lower bracket. Red Canids were able to get themselves back into a game that we thought maybe the waters were going to be a little bit too deep for them, but they've been able to survive it, and now we get to move on to Nuke. It's Laz and Exner here to bring you through potentially the last remaining map of this best of 3.
Very well could be. Hopping into an exciting series here, but one that does remain a little bit consistent, and that is going to be a tough draw here out of the gates. As you can see, we've got the map 1 MVP, and while David bringing in the stats here in a winning victory, it definitely felt like, CK Zhao's efforts on the other end should have been enough. David was finding a lot of those opening duels here, and Red Canids just spread out the workload so much on Ancient, where everyone has their moments that, it just leads to, the solo individual effort that we got out of CK Zhao getting nullified.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, I think overall, like, really, because David winning or being a part of the winning team and being that MVP, it does make sense. He had a really slow start. He was able to bring things back, late into the game, where we talked about FA was sitting at a 5-0 at one point in the first half, and then Red Canids finally got themselves kind of back into contention for the game. It was a lot of a up and down affair, but it did kind of seem like Red Canids, as soon as they got on the T side, it was a whole other story. But nonetheless, it was a very impressive Ancient from FA. We talked about historically, it's been a bit of a struggle. They've been just dominated against, a team like Red Canids historically. So things are getting better. Things are getting improved. But, look, we're done with Ancient. We'll talk about Nuke. And, I gotta be honest here, Cole. Like, this is a hard one not to kind of, really focus a lot on the history for Red Canids, right? This is a map where 15-6, they have a very impressive record. They've been able to beat some very, good teams. I'm thinking of like the Audix, Sharks, Bounty Hunters, MIBR, like the list goes on. Like, so these guys having a very impressive win rate on this. Whereas you kind of go on the other side of the coin for FA, it's a 2-5 record. This is not really an easy map for them. It seems like this is probably one of their worst maps statistically. Their last time they played, it was actually against Red Canids, in CCT, where it was a 13-9 loss. So to say the least, it really does feel like the tea leaves are kind of leaning or reading into one way here.
No doubt. Feeling more and more confident in their ability to pick things up. With this graphic here, it kind of highlights what you mentioned on this map of Nuke, where they've been able to challenge consistently some of the better squads here in South America and have been able to assert some dominance here. And included in that mix is the likes of FOLHA, just a few really days ago here at the start of the month, being able to, or no, it was actually like 5 days ago that they last played out on Nuke and went in the way of Red Canids in a strong fashion here. And it feels like even with the strong start here out of the map of Ancient, you've got CK Zhao nearly dropping 30 in regulation. Those sort of stat lines are pretty rare to see nowadays. I'm concerned that even that sort of individual effort wasn't quite enough to put them across the finish line again. So now what's going to change here on Nuke? We saw the performance come through from CK Zhao. We saw some of the clutch factor come out of Mello, but how quickly this team can crack things open, it just feels like it is a tough task here for FOLHA.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, I think we're about to go into game here pretty quickly, but like you said, I think a lot is going to rely here for CK Zhao, and a lot's going to be relying here for Mello to see, can they be able to, kind of get the bootstraps? Can they be able to really do some heavy lifting? Because those were the two players that I feel like they were putting a lot of effort into the first map. Can they do it here in the second? I guess we'll find out. But T side here for Red Canids. FA will be on the CT side, and let's get the show on the road.
Get this thing rolling here. Out of the gates, it's going to be no hesitation in towards A. Dooley's let one slide by, but Zareba will not let anyone pass. Tapping players out of this round here. History, the only one able to reply. The bomb is still maintained here by the T side, so heading back in towards the ramp side is a reroute. History, the only one standing here now in a 1v3. Could continue the conversation of these pistols being converted. That is if History doesn't have any more to say. And Facine completely destroyed by the USP here. Zine flanking with the dual Berettas. It's at least a challenge that History knows. Looking to find the headshot. No. Another one rattles off here. He has no problem dicing up these duels. And Zareba is in between here. He does have a kit. Bomb looking to go down here. History needs to complete the ace.
Yeah, ace clutch, right? And honestly, he's been just given a lot of these one-on-one duels. Zareba, and it's such a tough position, just again playing in the vent, just kind of waiting to see where does he have to go. And History has a lot of time, so he doesn't have to be too rash on this. He can still explore a lot of the site. He can just kind of really get that intel, but instead he's going to commit to the plant. Zareba's now going to be able to get himself out of vent. History now, can he be able to find that USB into work? He's been able to just get, again, more damage in the connections there. He's sitting pretty with 100 HP and so close to finding the ace here in this series. The first one at it. Zareba now needs to hit the best shot as much as he can into this. A big swing, and oh my goodness, History is down. And that's a pistol for FA somehow in some way.
Just saved right there, big time. By the 1v1 conversion, Zareba able to sustain and survive. When called upon, show up clutch, starts and finishes this round here despite History's uproar. But, I mean, even still, you get 4 kills, you get a bomb plant. He's getting an AK. Surely.
Yeah.
Where did that...
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is this getting the AK?
Interesting.
History, he's just a team player.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Cows actually just posted up on the back of vent here, so a little bit of a noise drop here from the Molly. Ooh, nice little bit of a kill through the player in mini. And now 3-on-2 advantage here for Red Canids. Yeah, Mello, that's still kind of in vent right now, waiting for the pop through onto this fast and just here into heaven. Trying to be the distraction. Now his teammate can get through. Mello, perfect timing onto that. Really good coordination. Red Canids, they can actually just, again, slow things down just a little bit because Che's in a strong position. And Mello's the one that really has to be able to, you know, start to move quickly onto this. This is not a good position for him at all. But Che, he's vacated the heaven position. He's going all the way around to join his teammate. And they're going to play the numbers game here. Let's see if Mello... Oh, that timing. Oh, that's awful.
I was just going to be so confused. Now that confirms it. Outside on the smoke, looking in. He's going to walk through it, waiting for timing. Will he be able to surprise him? Absolutely not. Che, when he joins up with his teammate, is the only one that's striking forward here. And Red Canids make good on the promise of History's attempt in that last round. Force up again. And we'll be able to dice up this win.
Yeah, you know what's crazy too is the fact that, you know, in this series, we've, you know, every single pistol round has gone for FA. And it seems like the second round conversion seems to just go right back for Red Canids. So, I mean, these guys just can't win a pistol to save their lives right now. But, like, I guess the second round winning is just enough, I guess, to keep them in these games, right? But, boy, oh boy, a tough and stressful way for that to happen. Good shot from the scout here. Mello actually connects onto David. Smoke wall's going to be thrown, so you can see these players are actually trying to cross into secret right away. They're not going to hesitate. They're not going to second guess this. Mello does actually find the final, you know, piece of that kill and finds the opening duel here. AKs are still going to be grabbed up. The M4's here for the T's. And you have an MP9 here for Cyril's and just the scout remaining, and then just pistols to complement it. So again, Red Canids theoretically should be in a power position into this. But they have to be careful considering, you know, CK Zhao is playing, again, just a little bit of that on top of the stairs. He might be able to find a quick little bit of a shot with the 5-7 and pull back onto it. But what does Red Canids want to do with this with a minute remaining?
Yeah, playing it careful. Not jumping the gun just yet here. Gonna take their timing. Doubling back here. They do isolate now, just a single player on the slower defense. Molly's going to force him off the line, so CK Zhao going to have to wait with his deagle. You're still, meanwhile, ramp being collapsed on, 30 seconds left, and it's another clean entry here. The precision on the aim is hard to deal with, and they can collapse on this solo player on B. Zareba going to make a move through the Molly, but can't stop them in their tracks here, and that Molly's going to allow for them to move forward behind the smoke of the flames. It's Che that peeks through. Bomb getting stuck down. It's claustrophobic, but the numbers will be punched in.
Yeah, such a tough retake right now for the CTs too, right? Again, I don't even think they have a kit. So that's going to be tough too. Yeah, they're going to have to just save this. I mean, if they could be able to find an AK, one of the rifles, that'd be huge just for them. Should be... I was thinking maybe there was one on that body, but I guess not. Oh, just kidding. It is a Galil. Yep, it is picked up. So not bad. Red Canids, once again, back into a little bit of a swing here where they like to find the second round and then just kind of build that momentum off of this. Maybe one more kill for Fasten. Indeed, it will not be. But 2 alive here for the CT side. That will be decent here for the money situation. But again, they're going to have to just work around as much as possible with the Galil and the Scout. But still not a bad round considering what they were working with before here, Cole. The one thing I wanted to bring up as well, you know, is like for when you look at the stats and you look at the history here for FA, again, I said their history on this map hasn't been the greatest. The only team they've been able to beat on this is Keystars. So they haven't been able to beat anybody else. So that's one thing. But they also did go into like a quad OT versus players. We'll see if they can maybe change something a little bit. This might not be the round, obviously. But like I said, a lot of work cut out for them. Red Canids looking easy and swift, taking full advantage and knowing what they had to go against in terms of the guns. Mellow. I don't know, does he really want to try to save a scout? It might be tough to hunt for a rifle.
Gonna climb back up the ladder here and find a Galil to hold on to at the very least. So something to hold on to. Something to look forward to for the rounds in the future. But for the most part, Pain Train going to continue to roll on out of Red Canids. They're going to back away, and strong start for the T side already coming available.
Yeah, and I really like this round from Red Canids too, just because, again, like, you sometimes see teams where they kind of overcomplicate some of those rounds, right? Where they, like, throw a ton of utility and they kind of wait things out. I like that it was just a simple execution. They got the molly on top of hut, you know, just the double pulp flash in. They really didn't put too much complexity into it. And I think that was good, right? It was simple and sexy, you know? It was just easy, and they knew there were some weak guns they had to work against. But nonetheless, it actually pans out very, very well for them. Now we get to see the CTs bringing out the rifles. A little bit of outside contention, maybe. David just on the top of the silo here, and you can see Zoreba's just kind of waiting things out, trying to see if he can play off the edge of the smoke. Not going to happen here. Red Canids have now switched up their game plan entirely. They were doing a lot of, you know, inner pops and onto the ramp control. Now they're taking a very slow approach on this outside control. And what do FA want to do to respond to this? A player already dropping into vent. So the rotates are starting to happen, you know, very quietly. Smoke wall comes through, so they're going to cross onto secret. And it looks like they will commit to this. But look, double player close onto this walkway. So this is important. Red Canids, are they going to be expecting a double player commit to this?
Yeah, this is such a good setup here. Red Canids setting up the trap. Might just walk right into it. Although, can't commit this defense for forever. Time starts to tick around here. Maybe second guessing themselves here. CK's out, doubles back in history. Gonna walk into the off angle, trying to throw a 1-2 punch, but the trades are perfect from drop. Double entry manufactured, and a lurk in heaven. David Deus, hearing the rotates, is gonna call his teammates up the vent here. Can he facilitate access? So he's gonna have to. He can find Cyril Zine, and that can open up A.
He's got to swing.
He's got to step forward now and offer up the trade. He does. And there they go, barraging in towards this A bomb site with control in heaven. Drop going to plant for him. And this round just gets that much more in question for the CT side. David going to be near impossible to uproot in heaven. And Drop can still play the post.
Oh, David, he's got to be careful. He's really committing to this fight. Again, he's just got to make sure he can survive as much as possible.
Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly why, right? Because of him with low HP is now creating a little bit of an opening. Now you can see that nade. Is it going to land? Oh, man, that's a dunk. Oh, yeah, that's nice. But Drop's going to be able to finish the job. The Shadow does give it away, but man, oh man, Fasten should have enough time here for the defuse, but...
I don't know.
Ooh, it's going to be tight. Oh, it's going to be real tight.
Okay.
Woo. Okay.
Good.
Crisis averted. But honestly, it was. I think if David would have, again, if he would have survived maybe a second, maybe if not too longer, that could have been it. Because you could see the one player, if I'm not mistaken, that was, I'm trying to remember who that was, but he actually was pulling back. Like, he was going into the save. You could see it there, right? It was Mello that was actually like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to commit to this. And then he's like, okay, never mind, you got the kill. Let's go for it. So there was an opportunity, right? Canids, we're going to have it guaranteed in the bag, but really good work for just, Fasten being able to find that duel.
Yeah, no doubt about it there. I mean, saving his teammates. A lot of strife there. David was the win condition for sure. I feel like that is the give and take of David sometimes. He gives a lot of opening duels. And sometimes the takeaway in these rounds is that he will continue to press W a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And that's
a
trade that I think a lot of teams are willing to take here with how much access he provides. They don't have any troubles bouncing back from this. It's already a double entry as the kind of lurking presence does the early damage. It's a nice response from Fascine. But lobby control going to be a little benefit for teams that are scaling down secret. But what are they doing here? In the reaction, going to change up the approach. Time to react here for Zareba. And a labored trade comes through from David. Fascine trying to get on the scene with a quick rotate. So is Mello's op, and by avoiding going down secret, they might walk into the stack here. Che escapes down the lower bomb site with the bomb.
Yeah, Fascine is actually, again, just really started to step things up a little bit. Gets a little bit caught, unfortunately, with the positioning. I was thinking maybe he was going to push towards the backside of Secret, maybe, but Mello now with the op might just have to save this with the 1-on-3. Uh-oh, hang on a second. That's actually a little bit of a gimme here. David, once again, holding W, making a ton of noise. Bomb's going to go down, but again, History has to be able to stay alive here because otherwise this is essentially just giving 1-on-1s, but there it is. An easy kill will not take the ult. They're going to just keep the rifles moving forward here for the T side, but History's been, I feel like kind of a little bit of a silent MVP in some regard, right? I mean, the first map he did quite well for himself. He had some decent showings. He was the guy that was able to get the final kills on the last round, the double kill, if I'm not mistaken. And right now, he's sitting at a 7-2, and he's playing a good job of the lurk role. He's been able to find that secondary entry like we talked about in that previous round, and really just kind of staying and squeaky and just finding those pesky little kills.
It's been a tough piece to deal with here, that's for sure. And the close nature of the round 2 rounds prior here is going to come to prove costly now. HE drops to the floor, but that might be all they get, and it will be. Ends up being incredibly well handled afterwards. 5-2 scoreline taking place here. And Red Canids start things off with a slight hiccup. Losing the pistol, bouncing back here, but keeping things competitive whenever they do win.
Yeah, it's true. Like, it kind of seems to be like their a little bit of a motto today, right? Like, it starts really slow, and then once they get going, they're starting to go. They lose the pistol, they bounce right back into this game, right? They've been able to find a couple rounds in a row, and now they're starting to look a little bit more, efficient here with these duels. Mello getting caught here with a molly, is trying to just commit to it. He thought he was going to be able to find a duel before he had to run away, but look at that damage, man. Down to 26. That is going to leave a mark. And now Red Canids have been able to grab themselves ramp control. So problems ahead here for FA right now.
Big time. Drop gonna sneak his way down and towards lower. No smoke for double door or anything like that. Just gonna go for the bomb plant. Try and post up, draw out a reaction here. There's David. Threading in more damage before the retake can even start. Cutting off the rotate slowly but surely. Zareba down to half. Starting to wonder if you even really want to give this a go. Mello's down low as well. He's too far removed. This one's out of the question. Double doors, bam, down through the range, and it's going to be an active play from Cowes in history to seal up another victory. The Op of Mello also contained into one location, spotted out now. Has to stay far away from that bomb blast, so very droppable. We start the campaign towards the outer yard, and it's David that catches his side turned. And it's Red Canids that will rip every gun out without any concern here, taking 6 on this T side already and showing no signs of stopping.
Yeah, I really like this play. Actually, like, again, they were up the players. You know, they could hear the noise cue of these guys were kind of, you know, starting to rotate a little bit. They were hoping for a little bit of a timing off guard, and it worked out very, very well. Like, I don't think they were expecting that kind of re-aggression through double door like that, so I do like it. They have some money that they could work with. Like, history's still sitting at 8,300 after, you know, just some repurchasing as well. So, again, like we talked about, you know, this isn't their strongest side typically on this map, but I mean, they're doing a good job of showcasing that it might be now. Pistols just firing at all cylinders as much as possible, but it hasn't been able to find any kills at all. It's just been shooting blanks, and now Cowes has been able to find the double. And CK Zhao has taken a ton of damage against him. And in this kind of a situation, Cole, too, I mean, again, like, how much do you really want to go for it? I mean, you could just try to look for the exits, maybe just try to see what you can find at the very last second, but history's already going for a little bit of a flank here and outside. Should be able to find this kill. And this should just be a mop-up very, very fast. And once again, history just playing this lurk role, like I said, very nicely. This is not maybe the best round to describe it, but it's still just putting up, you know, these 1, if not 2 kills almost every other round.
I just had a bunch of consistent forces here coming through out of the Red Canids squad. Just no missing pieces. Executes that are being called out are well placed, and the lurking that comes through as well just makes things so much easier. That's how you love to win Nuke, is being able to thread in, opening duels, punish any aggression, and when you take good positions, you close things out with confidence in those post plants by just not allowing for the rotates to even happen.
Yeah, it's always funny to think, like, you know, this map used to be like so heavily, you know, CT sided at one point, and going way back into history and aging myself here, but the T side really does create a lot of like uncomfortability, right, where you can manipulate so many different spots, and the rotates are so important, and the positioning on the CT side is even more crucial than it was before. And I feel like, you know, Red Canids have done a really good job of, again, just using the utility and really catching them off guard, and really just making things more problematic for these guys. And they've really been playing the guessing game. Now they're going to try to play one player in a Mustang. CK Zhao does actually find the opening duel, and will find himself one more as well. So now we talked about those heroic plays, and now he's just trying to do it again. He's just trying to make the highlight reel for himself. Finds the double. Looking to see if he might be able to do something a little bit more, and he's just trying to do as much heavy lifting as possible. Positions given away here. CK Zhao now on the brink of finding an ace. This is just something I wasn't expecting, but there you go. They'll take it.
It's just been a walking highlight reel all day today. And provides a 4K, almost an ace, did all the damage to the last player standing. Just not able to complete the kill. All things considered, Red Canids try and turn up the pace a little bit, but get forced back. And it's going to be another successful defensive round here. Still grasping at straws. Is maxing out on 5 rounds on the defense is not going to be what you're gunning for on this CT side, but walking away with a little bit of momentum, maybe some rounds in a row, that can change the conversation. CK Zhao, though, the hero of last round, is quickly spammed down low in this one. Sends an HE, Cowes his way. That's good damage.
Oh, big swing here from drop 2, able to get a good kill. Zorebas goes down. The op is back for Mello too, right? I'd like to see where he can go with this, but his positioning. David looks like he might try to do the pop out of hut. So yeah, you can see history's getting ready for the Molotov. Shay going to be joining him as well. So double utility going to be thrown from the roof. Oh, maybe even triple. It's a full inside pop here, Cole. It's going to be raining nades.
Oh, dude, with man advantage here. That's tough to deal with. CK Zhao on notice and a quick entry off the flashes. Blinded up by multiple different players as they make the inbound. CK Zhao doesn't have enough health to even stick around in heaven. Got to be careful those AGs that are available. And they'll call it a save here. Again, another small hiccup. A dominant campaign out of Red Canids. But they bounce back, and they bounce back so much stronger here. Mello, he's getting a couple of nice duels here heading his way. And CK Zhao has a kit. Oh boy.
No. What
They
what
can
is
sneak a
happening here?
defuse.
Oh my gosh.
CK
No.
Zhao gonna get on
No,
it.
you're kidding.
And
You're
I think
kidding.
he has time.
Oh my
It's gonna
gosh,
be
he's
a
going to have
rush
time.
in towards the heavens. It's too little, too late. CK Zhao stealing around away, being the hero once again. Mello providing the op shot, setting the distraction. All the while, CK Zhao routes him up.
Oh, man. How do you just not want to put your head through the wall if you're Red Canids, right? You're just giving these rounds where, you know, we're talking about Mello, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to see what he can do with the AWP, and he's just getting some fun kills here. They're just swinging this. They're like, yo, let's just, like, try to see what we can do. And, yeah, surely they take him down eventually, but, you know, all the while, CK Zhao's just sitting in heaven like, yeah, sure, I'll go for a ninja defuse. Why not? So... oh, Red Canids. That is just... I mean, they're already up, but, you know, they got the half, you know, secure. But again, that's just a lot for them to bring. But look, we'll worry about that later. Mello's still continuing his opping ways. Nice little bit of a kill as well. Secondary to that from Zareba. So now Red Canids have already dropped by 2 quickly early on into this last remaining round. And this is a great position right now for FA to be the man advantage, all 5 players alive with full HP nonetheless.
Just icing on the cake. Be closing out this last one here, knowing that CK Zhao brought you a couple of big-time rounds. David tries to hold up his own, but won't be able to sustain the duel, and CK Zhao will be the one to finish it. A phenomenal half for him once again as they look to strike back, turning the tides nicely for the side of FOLHA. We'll see if they can keep it up. Apologies. We see the continued conversation come through. I mean, FOLHA hanging around when Red Canids really shouldn't have let them. I think that, you know, that lost round not going to linger for too long if they can hop in and dominate on their CT side. But 5 rounds, again, the wind is in your sails as you look to hop into the second half. It's just going to be a tricky T side. But all that being said, we'll see if they can work that tricky T side after this.
number 2. And now things are live. It's a pistol round, a 7-5 scoreline. Red Canids have been able to get the lead despite for FA to be able to find the last 2 rounds in the first, putting themselves more of a competitive state. David, though, is coming back out with a massive swing. But it's not too long for Mello to be able to continue on his fragging ways as well. And now we get to see it's going to be FA that just swings into the inner bomb site, but can they be able to stop Canids? It's looking like it's a labored approach onto this, and he's still putting up a fight. Finally gets put down, and all of a sudden now this thing is turned into a 2v2. And history now might be able to find the timing. Oh my dear goodness. Oh, that is just so awkward and so weird, but Drop will be able to find it to save the day. Well, right now, I mean, it's crossover that's gonna happen through into Secret Wall, or into Secret through the wall.
Ooh.
Fast and though, nice little bit of kill onto Mini. But a good commit here with the rifles, like you talked about. But a bounce back right now for FA. That's gonna be really nice, right? Again, just putting themselves up that 1-man advantage in this situation. But you got to remember, Fastine is sitting in the red right now with 22 HP to spare. Shay might be able to get the swing of this. Does take down the wounded player, but now everybody's been able to make it across. Wow. Shay, my goodness, puts the FAMAS to work. And he gets away with a little bit of murder on that one.
Yeah, clean conversions in the lineup for Drop. Trying to transition for the last. Won't be able to just yet. Bomb has to be scooped up, and CK Zhao, the last man standing once again here. Feels like every time he's in this position, it's been enough. Not this time here. Dwindled down ever so slightly. Running right back into David. His crosshair. It's thrown amok. He doesn't realize David's around the corner there. Red Canids going to get that second round conversion. Deny a bomb plant here. And maybe force the white flag to be waved here from FOLHA to call on the Nico.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess the other thing is, too, is like it was kind of weird to be in the position of, you know, for Red Canids, they finally got a pistol round in their favor, right? I mean, in this whole series, it's been 3-1. So, I mean, you know, they get the first, like you said, they get the second conversion. So that really does put them in a strong position here for round number 15. Deagles and just some light pistols to work with here for FA. And now they're really going to be grasping at straws here to be able to find, you know, some really big picks or some opening duels of some kind. This is where, you know, Red Canids, like we saw, you know, a couple rounds ago, they were getting a little bit careless and just dueling. They had a ninja defuse against them. That's where I'm thinking in a situation like this, they got to maintain that composure and make sure they don't be a little overzealous into it.
Got to be careful nice here. History. Going to deny one of the Deagles. And won't take a headshot angle versus the second that he sees. Good bit of decision making, but he will take some body shots instead. CK Zhao able to track his foe. Jay taken down low as well, but still holding his own. It's Canids that gets blasted by CK Zhao, who has been utterly dominant.
Oh man, I was just thinking, I'm like, is he gonna swing and just 1D this so hard? Okay, look, again, I talked about like minimal investment into this, and I was like, yeah, like they just gonna have to be really hoping for some big duels. And honestly, considering the guns that we saw from Red Canids, and it was just Deagles and P250s invested here for FA, this is already a really good round. They're damaging so much of the economy. Oh, he already spotted Che. Oh my gosh. But it's only 15 seconds, right? So he doesn't have a lot of time to work with. He might be able to get this kill, which would be kind of sick. Again, just really burning that CT economy. Yeah, Sirozen's just going to play this patient. Not bad at all. And gets that last kill, the last remaining second of the round. And Not bad at all. Honestly, despite them not winning it, that's still very effective and just really damaging as much of the money situation as you can.
Yeah, I mean, good as you would like right there. Out of this tricky to work off of T side with not a lot being brought into the mix. They managed to make the most of it. They'll take that every day of the week. They shut things down. They'll be able to capitalize. Now they get the guns back out into the mix. It's Mello that tries to take a stance in towards this squeaky side of things. No luck. Kawa is going to really make this play. Are you serious? Oh, that is so infuriating for the poor Opera. And Cyril suffers the same fate. It's Kawa's that looks to drive in the knife here on this series. And Zareba the only one that can reply. Fastine also spotted towards the outer yard in transition. Not going to get a swing just yet. Off angle held by Che. Timing not looking great, but the shadow will give it up. And Zareba left wondering what happened to his team here.
Yeah, so many duels gone against them, right? And it was a minute mark, and now it's just Zareba just sitting by himself going, okay, I got a 1-on-4, and got a lot of work cut out for me here. Does have the bomb, though. Use the last piece of utility on this and the molly just to push back onto credit card, so not bad at all. But again, you're playing a massive amount of real estate. You have to kind of cross so many different angles, and you have a player on heaven. You have a little bit of a triangle of the CT setup onto this and drop an easy little bit of a lineup. But yeah, really unfortunate for FA. They just really couldn't seem to find anything. And like you said, I'm really glad you brought it up, as Kawa is just kind of pushing through Squeaky and getting these duels. Like this right here is just infuriating to play against, and you can just, it kind of makes you wonder if FA have, I don't want to say they're like mentally checked out, but I mean, that would definitely kind of tilt you in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, that'll get you there fairly quickly. I tell you what, it's just not fun to play against right there. And they face that head on, calling a timeout. I mean, it is easy to check out, a lot harder to try and stick around and fight for a comeback, especially when the feeling is so familiar going up against the squad. It's always a tough time to break things down. So many challenges faced here. Whenever you play up against this Red Canids squad, and continues to be the reality.
Good molly. Actually, CK Zal taking a lot of damage already, down to 60. And now they're just playing a little bit of mind games, right? That smoke deep into Squeaky is just, again, just going to block things off a little bit. Smoke walls getting thrown, pop through. CK Zal looked like he was actually anticipating a bit of a swing. Oh, that pop through the smoke. I thought that was going to be good, but look, it doesn't even matter. He will get a history.
They can't cross.
They just can't do anything right now.
There's just constant HEs blowing open the smoke, and Zareba, realizing that Mini might be his only option, gonna get blasted. Cyril crab walking into the duel, like, that's something, but it is just a lonely Mello, sending his crosser up high, down low. On HP, the USP gets spotted out right there. I think his gun barrel betraying him, and Red Canids, again, suffer a couple casualties, but will not suffer a map loss here. I'm not thinking. I don't know if there's a way.
Yeah,
where this
it's just
CT or T-Side can come back.
No, exactly right. I mean, I think, if I'm not even mistaken too, like, it's essentially just been full speed ahead here for Red Canids, right? I mean, this whole, I think it was a 7-5 in the first half, and, you know, FA has not been able to find a single round on the second half. Like, it's really just been, you know, a barricade of defense here for Red Canids throughout the second half. So that's what we talked about. But now it's a, you know, a do or die moment here. A long road ahead of them. Maybe they can make it happen. I have no idea, but that's not the good start they wanted. Players are just dropping instantly, and look at the CTs loading the kill feed. And with 1:30, Cole, it's down to a 1-on-5. And Cyril now has to pull up the unthinkable with a Galil, a one piece of utility in hand. Not gonna matter, and it's gonna be Red Canids to solidify themselves still in the lower bracket with a 2-0.
Yeah, just such a dominant affair here from Red Canids. I think the big chance, as you highlighted before this series started, was definitely on Ancient. And as they watch Ancient get ripped away from them, so too do their chances in this series. Unfortunately, Nuke does not get any better for them. And it's Red Canids that once again move forward. Unfortunately for FOLHA Amarela, that is goodbye here for the South American Cup #1. They get eliminated here in ECL. And obviously, I feel like this is a team that we'll be seeing in the future. But for now, I think struggling up against the top dog rosters may be a bit of a trend for this team. And hoping to see them break through, because players like CK Zhao, he gave us something special on map 1 there that was hoped to be capitalized on. Just couldn't quite get the whole team on board to finish off the job they started.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we can bring up the bracket here a little bit too, because I agree. Like, I feel like, Mello and CK Zhao are definitely the players to me that were really standing out a lot. And this is a team that's still kind of figuring things out. They've been able to beat some teams. They've been able to push some teams a little bit of distances on maps, but yeah, look, they have a lot of, bumpy roads ahead of them. They have to figure these things out. But nonetheless, putting themselves in a position like this, making a very first competitive map, as you can see on the bottom of this bracket here, they don't make it here in terms of map wins. But, Ancient was very close. It was very much, on the brink of them getting in and pushing it to a 3-map series. But that's where Red Canids, I think, again, just, the experience and just the caliber of the players really put them at a big advantage. So as you can see, now it's going to be, the winner of this series that we just captured is Red Canids. They will be actually facing LP. So that's going to be those two teams still fighting for their lives here into the lower bracket. And again, the loser of this, whoever loses now essentially in this bracket, they're done. So this is all about just winning out. And you're kind of having to go for a big old streak to put yourself back into that final contention.
Yeah, no doubt about it here. I think that Red Canids are a roster that can make it happen. I think all, the dominant teams, Imperial in the mix, Sharks in the mix for that conversation. There's just so many teams, I think, in this South American region that can do the damage, that can provide the coverage, that can make the run to the lower bracket. But that is all still in question. That being said, for South America today here on the ACL stream, it's all that we have for you. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on a broadcast very shortly. Hey, maybe even in NA. We'll see you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Nice.
Awesome. If even one or two pieces of utility really could have changed that round for what they were.
See if that is the case here. David caught by 1,000 flashes. Is still going to line up multiple spray transfer for David. Looking clean for a 4K. Reloaded.
There's a misthrown flash here from the CT side. That's going to be the formation of 30 HP. History just peaks out just a little bit too much. Now we see that Fasten was trying to do something a little bit quick on the long, but it's just too. David, what a prime position to be in. Always not going to bother him. Just kind of build up momentum off of this. Maybe change something a little bit. This may not be around. Opening. Now you can see that Nate. Oh my gosh, he's gonna have time. Now we get to see the FA that just shoots the inner bomb site, but can they be able to stop? Got 2 HP to spare. They might be able to get the swing of this. Does take down the wounded player, but now everybody's been able to make it.
Oh, that is so.
If even one.
feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.